The matter of Rachel Clint versus Richard Prasad. It's really the school that you're suing, and he's just a representative. You're suing the school, asking for a refund of your tuition for the rest of the year because your son was expelled, you believe, unfairly.
Yes.
So tell me about it.
Well, until about 3 months, he was a student.
Wait, hold on a second. Now, this is your son.
Yes, this is my
Clint.
son. Yes, this is James
All
Clint.
right.
Yes.
James, I'm going to talk to you in a minute, all right? All right, so let's just have a seat for a few minutes, okay? And then I'll call you back up.
Okay.
All right.
So, as I was saying, until about 3 months ago, he was a student at Riverfront Prep Middle School. And he then came in and was afraid to be at that school because he was expelled unfalsely because he was defending himself against another child who attends the school and who was bullying and provoking him. I work hard for my son to go to that school. I sacrificed so much for him to be there. Before I actually put him in a private school, I had allowed him to go, and he was enrolled in a public school. The public school curriculum was very poor. The teachers were not very motivating to him. So I thought that putting him in a private school would actually open up his curriculum and his understanding of what he's supposed to do in school. But unfortunately, that wasn't his experience. My husband and I paid a lot of money for him to go to that school, and I am appalled, and I'm frustrated at the fact of the way they treated my son at that school.
So you're saying your son was bullied?
Yes, he was. He was bullied and provoked by one particular kid.
Okay, so those are the words he told you, so I might as well let him tell me what went down and what happened. You just sort of intervened based upon what your son said to you, right?
Yes,
but you did not observe any of these incidents?
Well, I also have proof that I have the things that the kids were saying on social media, as well as his clothes being in the trash can, and the bullying that took place by this one child who actually initiated all of these other schools. He was the leader of the pack. You
had a conversation with the principal or people in charge about it?
Yes, I went.
All right, let me talk to little Clint. Come on up, Mr. James. How old are you, sweetheart?
I am 13 years old.
So you be all right there without your mom standing next to you?
Yes,
all right.
I'm okay.
Mama, you can sit down. You're 13, 8th grade?
Yes.
All right, tell me what was going on at school.
Ever since the first day of school, I have been bothered by a kid named Brock.
And what did Brock do or say or whatever?
He has been talking about my family, about how we're less fortunate than him.
What did he say?
He talked about how my dad is a garbage man worker, but I look up to my dad as a sanitation worker.
Well, your dad is a sanitation worker, so saying that he's a sanitation worker and that's what he is, how is that talking about him? Tell me exactly what Brock would say, the kinds of words that he would say, the phrases that he would use.
So when he threw my clothes in the trash, he said, yeah, you could get your clothes out of the trash like you could be a trash man like your dad.
So how did your clothes get in the trash? Tell me how that took place.
Because I was in the locker room at PE, and when I was in the shower, when I got out the shower, my friends told me that my clothes were in the trash can.
Oh.
And they said that it was Brock that did it.
So your friends told you Brock did it?
Yes.
You didn't see him do it?
No, I was in the shower.
Did you and then what happened?
After school, Brock had came up to me and thumped me twice in the forehead. So I punched him.
Coming up on...
Okay, but this was after some other incidents, right? That's
No.
the one that got you expelled.
Yes.
All right, tell me what, you said ever since the first day of school,
Yes.
he was bothering you. You got to
Yes.
tell me what he was doing, what he was saying.
So he threw me in the trash can was one of them.
He threw you in the trash can?
Yes.
When?
During lunch at school.
He picked you up literally and threw you in the trash can?
Yes.
Okay, did you tell the principal or anyone at school about that?
Yes, and all his friends just laughed at me and just sat there.
All right, but when that happened, did you go to one of the school authorities like Mr. Prasad or your teacher or anyone else?
Yes, I told 2 of my teachers and my parents, but it seemed like they couldn't really do anything about that.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, so when he threw my clothes in the trash can, he just called me like dirty, trash. But he didn't even know anything about me. I don't know. He just knew that my dad was a trash man because he used to pick up the trash for him and all that from his
So
house.
your dad picked up trash in his community?
Yes. Couldn't really do anything
So
about
how'd you get to the point of the hitting?
Oh, because he thumped me twice in the head right here.
Well, so how did the two of you get connected to each other and so close to each other that that could happen?
So
Give me the
after-
scenario.
So after school, he had came up to me in front of the school, and he thumped me twice. I don't know what made him come up to me, but he thumped me twice.
Okay, and then this time you finally hit him,
Yes,
and then you got expelled.
yes,
How many times did you hit him?
once.
Okay. All right. Did he ever meet with Brock's parents, to your knowledge?
I have no idea.
But he never met with all of you.
Never met with us, but he did place my son as well as Brock in a class. He
And what was
placed
the
them in a
class?
class. It was the resourceful conflict class.
resolution.
Okay?
Conflict resolution.
Yes, I had no idea why my son was there. My son was not, didn't have the conflict. He was the student. It seems that the person who had the conflict was Brock. Nevertheless, while he was there the very next day, my son comes home and say, well, Mom, the situation has gotten even worse.
So this took place over a period of about 3
Yes,
months?
this happened over a period of time. And as I asked for that sit-down meeting, of course, I did not get it. I also learned that before he got expelled, that Brock's parents are huge contributors to the school, and that apparently they didn't even have the time to deal with this issue.
Okay. All right, there's another witness here. Then I'm going to get to you. All right? Well, let's get to you now, Mr. Prasad.
Sure.
These are some very serious allegations.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, what do you have to say?
You know, Riverfront Prep is, you know, it's a long tradition of, you know, encouraging and growing these kids. You know, prior to the altercation in front of the school, you know, there's been, of course, I've had complaints from Ms. Clint, and, you know, we followed through. We investigated, you know, some of the instances that she had complained about. And, you know, you know, what we try to do is encourage the kids to resolve problems between themselves. Okay, so after the complaint, we decided to put both kids in this conflict resolution class. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, which led to the confrontation. Now, prior to the confrontation, there's been several instances where, you know, Mrs. Clint's, you know, child has had, you know, issues in class.
Issues.
Had you ever called her and told her about that?
Well, of course, we've notified her. You know, some of the issues were, you know, he would skip class.
That's
He
not true.
would talk back to the teachers.
Where is the notices of that?
That's not true.
These
What
are,
are the notifications of that?
these are complaints from the teachers directly.
I know, but they usually write a note on the report card, or they send a note home, or they say something like that.
I know, but that's exactly it. You know, we tend to deal with matters that are happening in the school, in school.
So now you're saying he was skipping class, talking back to the teacher, so that's why he got expelled? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
absolutely not. He was
Oh.
also, you know, he was just unsatisfactory to some of the other children.
Unsatisfactory. I
And
don't
why was he
understand.
unsatisfactory to some of the other
You know,
children?
I'm being nice. He was actually pretty rude to a lot of the kids. You know, it seems like his attitude kept
So then why
building.
didn't you call his parents in and have a conversation with them about his attitude and what was going on with him?
Again, you know, we respect the child's, you know, progression in the
Oh,
school.
you sound like,
Part of the preps, part of Riverfront's.
you're telling me that this kid is having problems with socialization at school and other kids are having problems. He's skipping class, he's talking back to the teachers, he's being rude to other students, and you don't bother to pick up a phone, call a parent,
that'd
and
be
ask for a conference, or send a note home and ask for a conference, but now you come here and say it?
Because it didn't reach the stage where we felt like we needed
So then
to.
why are you telling me about it now?
Because it led to the confrontation.
How you
where
know? That was,
I was there. I witnessed it.
Coming up.
what'd you witness?
I witnessed, you know, his fist in Brock's face.
Did you witness Brock's fingers in his face?
Unfortunately not, no.
Okay, so,
But I have my witness that
all
did.
right. Now let me see what this witness has to say. Miss, well, come forth and tell me your name. Miss Katie Leamy?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Have
Hi.
a seat, Miss Clint.
Thank you.
Miss Leamy, what, you are a parent at that school, of one
Correct.
of the students as well?
Yes, correct. I have
Okay,
a
now
daughter.
what did you observe?
I was picking my daughter up after school, and she was in the same vicinity as James. I see kind of a group gather, so it kind of drew my attention towards that group, and I saw the two boys, James and Brock, and I saw Brock get in James's face and actually put his hands like this, and exactly how James was saying, his head went back a couple times, so he pushed him pretty good. And
So
then,
his head snapped back.
yes, it did, correct. And so, that's correct.
Had you, through your daughter, heard of any incidents where this kid was being bullied or disrespected or anything?
Yes, I have. She's come home quite a bit of times and have said things. She was very concerned and felt bad for James. James and Kylie are in the same math class. And when I found out after the fight that James was expelled, and I found out that Brock was
wasn't?
not, yes, I was then very concerned, and I reached out to Mrs. Clint and let her know what I observed.
Let me ask you something, Mr. Prasad.
Sure.
Let me ask you something, Mr. Prasad.
Sure.
When you expelled James, did James tell you that Brock had hit him first?
He did, yes.
Okay, so why didn't Brock get expelled?
Because we have a zero tolerance on any acts of aggression.
That's my point. If Brock hit him first, why didn't Brock? So
but
you
it
don't
wasn't-
call this, you don't call that violence.
I didn't see it, you know.
I didn't ask you, did you see it?
There was no witness. I didn't have any witnesses.
She's a witness right there.
But there's a difference between poking and punching someone.
Oh, now see, that's where you're mistaken. Because assault is assault.
Judge Mablean's
You did not take control of the situation and you allowed it to escalate.
Yes.
And that's how it got to the point of this young man hitting. Because if I tell a teacher and I tell a principal and I tell my parents and I tell my friends and I'm constantly saying this boy's bothering me, this is going, and everybody's turning a deaf ear, at some point it's going to get worse. So you left him no choice. He's defenseless.
Yes.
No one's listening to him. Now all she asked for was her money back, and you don't even want to give her money back?
Well, you know, we have a very
Sit
strict
down, Miss Leamy, for a minute, and Miss James, come back, Clint.
policy, and it clearly states, okay, that any acts of aggression will result in suspension or expulsion, therefore forfeiting her tuition.
Mr. Prasad,
Yes.
you have a witness that this other young man engaged in an act of aggression. He has not been expelled. You have not done anything to him.
Would you like to
What
take a look
message
at our
are you?
policies?
I don't give a darn about your policy. It can't be unequally enforced. You get that woman her money, that family their money back. Judgment for the plaintiff, $3,600.
Thank you.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiffs. The defendant is ordered to pay $3,600.